Good morning. It's a nice Monday morning. Coming to you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop in Austin, Texas. My name is Mitch. And we are here to talk about social media, YouTube, whatever else comes up, whatever else floats your boat. We're going to be here for an hour or so, maybe two. Just depends on how it goes. We try to live stream for at least an hour, and it just depends on what comes up and what happens. That's the thing with the live stream. You never know what's going to go on. You never know what's going to happen. And so, hope everybody's doing all right this morning. If you're with me, if you jump into chat, let me know what's going on. I'll try to keep an eye on things, and if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to drop into comments as well if you're watching this video later on. Oh, my mic's crooked. Why is my mic crooked? Oh, whoa. If I wasn't such a perfectionist, when I look at that mic and it's crooked, it drives me kind of a little batty. That's better. It's semi straight. If you're wondering why, uh-oh. What happened? What happened? What happened? All right, let's try that. I've been having some technical difficulty. Sorry about that. I think I'm overpowering my laptop. I've got so much going on that it's making my laptop go just a little wacky. Well, I'll tell you what I did when I plug in I brought in a light, an LED light, and when I turn it on, it seems to overpower. I didn't have any problem at all on Friday, but this morning when I turn on my light, it cuts off my camera. Figure that out. I'll turn the light back on. Let's see how long it lasts. Maybe I've got too many things plugged in, too many wires, too much going on. I'm trying to do too much with my camera feed, plug-ins, and all that kind of stuff. Because I've got an iPhone hooked up. As well, but it looks like it went bonkers, so I don't know what the deal is on that. Well, I tell you, I'm just falling apart this morning. I don't get it. Still trying to work out some issues here with the old feed. I think what's happening is I've got too many things hooked up, probably. So when you think about going live, might need to make sure you know what's what. All right, now we're back up. Somewhere there's a glitch, and I don't know if it's some loose wire, but that's the problem you have when you go live. You just don't know what, I mean, it's just hard to figure out sometimes. And you're doing this on your own. You don't have a director or producer or somebody off screen doing this for you. You're trying to handle it all yourself. I'm trying to handle OBS, which I'm using to stream with, and I'm trying to make all these changes and changing between scenes, because I've got the intro, I've got myself full screen, and I've got my browser. These are all set up in OBS as separate scenes. I've got my iPad hooked up, and looks like it's gone wacky on me. Oh, come on. There it is. Yeah, when my there's my iPad. When when the thing went out on me, it looks like it knocked everything out. So I wonder how long this will last. Maybe whatever little wiring problem I've got will work itself out. I've got that. These are all separate scenes. There's ChatGPT. I've got the full display so that you can see the entire upper monitor that I've got in case I want to do something up there. We got my guest speaker, Gary V, is going to join us later on. And it's very odd. And my mouse goes in and out on me. I think I've just got too much. Oh, too much going on. Now my mouse has gone out on me, so I'm going to be... Oh, man. Well, I think I'm going to have to cut off that light. That LED light is causing me all kinds of trouble. And on Friday it worked fine. Now where's my mouse? It's hard enough to do this without a mouse. All right. Got my mouse back up and running. But this is what live is all about, right? So, jump into chat and let me know what's going on. Make sure I've got everything hooked up. Got the browser, got my iPad, which went back out again. I guess I'm going to have to reconfigure. Everything was going fine on Friday, but today everything's falling apart. So what in the HELL? Well, we're here to talk about social media and YouTube this morning. Whatever else happens to come up. Maybe technical issues on doing a live stream. If you want to go live and do a live stream, let me know. Jump into chat, and I'll give you all kinds of problems I've had with going live. It doesn't get any better. It's all a learning process. I mean, I'm on number 27, I think. I've done 27 live streams since I began this a few weeks ago. I try to go every day, every weekday morning, live from the coffee shop. And by the way, here's the coffee shop. As you can see, it's not that busy this morning. It was busier earlier. Had all kinds of people in here getting their coffee on the way to work, but now things are starting to calm down a little bit. I'm using my iPhone as a separate media source, and that's what this is you're looking at here is the iPhone. And then I'm using a Logi camera on my laptop to get better quality there. But I've got to figure out why that LED is giving me problems. Because on Friday I used it. It does help with the lighting, but it seems to be causing me power problems this morning. I don't know why. Well, let's see. Let's try this out. See if we can really break the farm. I'll go up to Facebook and go to Facebook. And we're going to try to go Facebook Live. And I want to get on Facebook, see if I can drive some people on Facebook here. Let's go live on Facebook and see what happens. It's gonna really make the system go wacky. All right, looks like we're up and running on Facebook. I've got to come over here and post some details. It's not going to start streaming until I post some details. I got to put in a title. Live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop. Join me on YouTube at Even Rabbits for the full interactive stream. Alright, let's do that, see what happens. I think my Wi-Fi is not going to be able to withstand it very long, but we'll see. Because now we're live on Facebook and YouTube, so we're doing some double duty. I am currently live, but I want to keep an eye on the Facebook streaming metrics right here. I don't want it to go red, too red, because it'll lag. Get all jumpy. Well, let's jump over and pull up a Facebook window and see. There I am right there. So it looks like I'm going okay, because now we're live. But you can see it's lagging. Live on Facebook and YouTube. So we're doing some double duty. If you're on Facebook, I am currently live. If you're on Facebook, you need to come over. Keep an eye on the. You need to come over and join me on the YouTube feed at Even Rabbits. At Even Rabbits on YouTube. And that way you can be in on all the fun. If you're on Facebook, all you can see is is my laptop camera. You watch me on camera. You can't see any of the other stuff we're going to do here in the next hour or so. So if you're on Facebook, jump over to YouTube and do a search and look for at Even Rabbits. At Even Rabbits. Well, boy, I really messed up. All right, let's try that. So if you're on Facebook, come over to at Even Rabbits. And because I'm going to have to cut off Facebook after a while because the Wi-Fi feed is going to make things drag. All I ask for is a speedy Wi-Fi Is that too much to ask for? Maybe. Well, we're going to keep streaming as we are until I see that my YouTube studio feed, right now it shows excellent connection. We'll see how long that lasts. And maybe things will stay solid for a while. But as you know, you never know with this stuff on YouTube. But one thing I wanted to do, I think, is sort of reconnoiter, because I've been doing this now. As I said, this is, I think, my 27th live stream. And I wanted to come up with some things that I may have learned so far. So if you're looking to do a live stream, what are some things that I've learned? Number one, if you're coming from a public space, like I'm in a coffee shop, stuck over here in the corner against a wall, got my setup, and it's a reminder that nobody cares. Nobody's going to care what you're doing. You're going to think that people in a public space are going to be watching you live stream, especially if you've got a laptop and a couple of monitors and a microphone like I do. sort of a little mini broadcast studio set up at a table, you're going to think people are going to be staring at you or making fun of you or be a little upset or maybe try to figure out what you're doing. But as I look around this coffee shop, people are doing their own thing. They've got their own lives to lead. They don't care. And I'm not even sure they can hear me. I'm trying to talk normally and not speak too loud because I don't want to disturb anybody. So it's just a reminder that you can go into a public space and set up something like this, and people will continue to just live their lives. And it's also something you need to remember, and I have to always remember about when I'm posting on YouTube, and it's the fact that, I hate to say it, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about our videos. They don't care about our YouTube channel. They have their own lives to lead. They have their own videos to watch, their own YouTube channels to watch, and they don't really care about me. In fact, my family probably doesn't even care. So you're sort of in this on your own. You're in this on your own. You and I are on this alone. And we have to somehow make people care. We have to get them interested enough to where they care. So, lesson number 1 from going with a live stream, nobody cares. Number 2, it's a great way. Let's try that again. It's a great way for you to be authentic. Because when you go live, there's no editing. There's no going back and starting over. If things go wacky on you, they go wacky. And you just have to keep going. So it helps you with your authenticity. And it's also good practice for your camera and speaking. If you do a live stream, it forces you to get online and in front of the camera and speak and learn how to look into the lens, look into the camera, and to speak. And what I'm finding is that the best thing we can do is slow down. It's okay to not get in a hurry. Just take your time when you're on a live stream. We don't have a bus to catch. We're not going anywhere. We're here just hanging out. It's just you and me. We're at the coffee shop. We're having a cup of coffee. And we're just going to be talking about stuff. My particular purpose for this live stream is to just talk about YouTube and to talk about social media in general. So that's what the conversation is going to be around. But it could be around other stuff too. It just depends. So nobody's going to care. It helps you be authentic. It's going to help you with your camera and speaking. And number 4, the tech issues of going live. You've got noise you've got to deal with. You've got babies crying in the background. You've got noise from the kitchen, slamming dishes and coffee mugs. And you've got people talking, of course, to each other at the table. You've got people on speakerphones. You've got all kinds of noise that you have to deal with. And the technology is there to help you with the noise. Hopefully, it took me It took me a long time, and it took me a lot of work and a lot of practice to get to the point where I think I've got some halfway decent audio. I've been able to figure out some things. In terms of the audio, using noise filters and using the filters available in OBS, but also downloading some other help and looking at video online and trying to get some YouTube instruction on setting up sound. But I went on YouTube and I started looking for help to help me with setting up sound and trying to get rid of the background noise. And I went on YouTube and I couldn't find a whole lot of help for sound in a public place. Most of the stuff I saw on YouTube was based on helping you reduce the noise in your studio from your home office or whatever. And I thought, well, that's not helping me. I'm in a coffee shop. I need help on how to reduce the sound in a coffee shop. So I had to sort of learn on my own and get some help and do some research and do a lot of practice. And if you go back and look at some of those early live streams, you'll see all of the practice I went into to try to work out the audio, because the audio is very important. You can get by with some poor video, but the audio you want as good as possible. You want it A+ if you can get it. Now, it's not going to be possible in a live setting. You can try to reach that A+ audio, but it's not going to be possible because you just have to lean into the fact that you're in a public location and you're going to have noise. So you just have to deal with it. All right, so what else have I learned here from being on a live stream so far? Well, let me think. I know nobody cares. Authentic. Helps you with your camera presence and your speaking. The tech issues are going to be there, so you have to deal with the tech issues. And number 5, I think it's important to be consistent, if I spelled that right. You probably want to set up a schedule. Now, I'm going weekdays for an hour, which is a lot. And I may even try an afternoon live stream for my other channel, which is an art channel, art, drawing. And I may do some live streams where we spend the time drawing on the iPad or drawing ink on paper, watercolor or whatever. So important to probably set up a schedule, maybe once a week if you want to go live, or if you want to go live every other day, or if you want to be stupid like me and try it on a daily basis, you can try that. But you probably need to get on a schedule and stay consistent so that people will know when you're coming on live and they can sort of be looking out for it and kind of expect it. So I've tried to be consistent and I've tried to be on time. Now I started out at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and went about, 26, this is number 27. A couple of those were afternoon sessions, so I'm going to say I probably had 24 sessions at 9 a.m. Now I'm bumping it up to 10 a.m. So I'm going to be coming weekdays now from 10 a.m. for a while, and we'll see how that goes. I'm sort of experimenting, wanting to find out kind of what's going to work best. And I may try some afternoon sessions as well. So the point is, you just got to keep working at it. It doesn't come easy. It's just got to be something you work on every day. I mean, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So that's what I've learned so far in terms of going live. Well, let's run up to the old browser and see what we can find to talk about. I want to pull up a channel at random here and sort of do a deep dive, check a channel out, and see how they look at the thumbnails. Is there a consistency in the thumbnails, or is everybody's a little bit different? What stands out? Bold text seems to stand out. Everyone's using, for the most part, big text, and they're using maybe 2 or 3 words only. This is war up here. Sound like a pro right here. Just say quiet over here. Stop using LUTs. So most of these thumbnails looks like they're using 3 or 4 words, and that's it. The complete AI timeline, Chicago Blues. So, in terms of text on the thumbnail, it looks like they're keeping the amount of text down to a bare minimum for the most part. So I'm thinking those are going to be the most effective. But you see other thumbnails that don't use any text at all. There are some that use more than 3 or 4 words. So I'm not sure anybody's really got it figured out. The idea with the thumbnail, though, is you've got to spark some curiosity. You've got to make people curious. They talk about forming a curious gap. You're wanting to ask a question or make a comment or post some sort of a visual that makes people curious. And it has to tie in directly to the content of that video. So let's pick up a video here, and look at how they do it. Now here's a guy that I've been following lately. His name is Rob the Maritimer. Rob goes live on Tuesdays at noon. He's consistent enough to where I've got it memorized because I watch him and I know that he comes on Tuesdays at noon. That's why it's always good to be consistent. Well, let's look at Rob's thumbnail here. Rob the Maritimer. First year earnings. Looks like it's a 26-minute video. How much YouTube paid me my first year, all in caps, being monetized with 30,000 subscribers. So when we think about curiosity or wanting to click, what is it about this thumbnail? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. YouTube first year earnings, that pretty much describes what we should be expecting to find in that thumbnail. Does his title reinforce the thumbnail? How much YouTube paid me my first year? Yep. It's a direct, pretty obvious connection to his thumbnail. YouTube first earnings, how much YouTube paid me my first year being monetized. So that's a good title. It's a good thumbnail. And we're all curious about how much money people make. And especially if they're starting the channel, everyone wants to know, how can I get monetized, and how fast can I start getting paid? Well, let's open up Bob's video, and what we want to do is look at his first 10 or 15 seconds. We want to look.
This is my story about how much YouTube paid me my first year of being monetized.
All right. I think about his thumbnail.
This is my story about how much YouTube paid me my first year of being monetized.
All right, right there, immediately. First thing out of his mouth is he sort of repeated the title. So that's a great intro. It's a great way to do it. If your title is how much YouTube paid me my first year being monetized, then when I click on the video, the first thing Bob says is, this is what YouTube paid me my first year being monetized. So I, as a viewer, know I'm in the right spot. It wasn't clickbait. I'm going to get what Bob has promised me. He's promised me the value proposition here. The promise is that he's going to share with me how much he made his first year of being monetized with 30,000 subscribers. And so he immediately starts the video telling us that's what he's going to talk about.
I know when I started with YouTube, I had a ton of questions. How long does it take to get monetized? How often should I upload new videos? How much money can I make? So I made this.
He's doing a good job there using text. He's using text to reinforce
to get monetized. How often?
What he's talking about here. And instead of just running captions across the bottom, this is a better way to do it. You want to pick out words to give them emphasis and use text.
Should I upload new videos? How much money can I make? So I made this video to provide as many answers as possible in the hopes that it will help you with your own YouTube journey. The year was 2024, and it's the year I finally stopped procrastinating, came up with a plan I could stick to, and grew my channel to over 30,000 subscribers. In this video, I'll walk you through month by month how many videos I uploaded, how many views and watch hours I got, and how much money YouTube paid me. I'll also...
Okay. Excellent beginning. He's going to show us exactly what he has made, and he's spelling it out there. Now what we want to do, we've looked at his thumbnail, we looked at his title, he had an excellent intro, he's got us into the video itself, and now let's look at the screen presence. Let's look at how he appears on camera, and if he looks comfortable, if he looks authentic, if he looks if he looks like he's a real person and not trying to sell us something or be fake or be over excited. He's just going to be conversational, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Let's check out and see how he performs on camera, because it does take practice, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So let's look at his screen presence and get an idea of his overall content.
I'll show you which videos were my top performers each month and share 5 lessons I learned during the year.
Okay, right there, he said 5 lessons he's learned. Now he's starting to introduce a new hook here. His first hook was, I'm going to share with you how much money I made. That got us interested in the video. Now he's added another dimension. He's going to give us 5 things he's learned. So that's sort of a secondary hook. It's going to give us some more help. He's going to give us some tips here.
January 2024. My channel was 3 years old and I had 33 videos on the channel. I also had 2,680 subscribers. During the month of January, I did not upload any videos. And I did no live streams, but I was still getting views and subscribers because of the videos I already had on my channel. I got 3,800 new views, 174.8 new watch hours, and 60 new subscribers. If I look at the spreadsheet for January, hey there, Future Rob here, Rob the editor. This spreadsheet that I'm showing you right now is just something I made myself and I use to track my stats and analytics manually. If you want a copy of this, I got a link to it down below. It's called the YouTube Stats Tracker. It doesn't have any of my information in it, but you can download that and use it if you like.
Okay, that was excellent. He's got this spreadsheet available, and that's a way you can engage your audience, is to offer them a freebie. Put something in the descriptions that they can download and refer to it in the description below. Because again, it's about helping the viewer. We want to help those who are spending the time to watch us, and it's all about helping the viewers. So he's offering a freebie here. He's offering that spreadsheet, and so far, so good.
174.8 new watch hours brought my total to over 7,200, but that's total. That goes all the way back 3 years earlier. In order to be monetized and earn money from YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and also 4,000 hours of watch time within the last 365 days. It's important to know that 365 days is a moving target. So after 2 years of having a channel, it's only the most recent 1 year, or 365 days, that count towards your watch hours. So I created this other column here. This just does an addition of the previous 12 months. So at this point, I now have 2,707.6 watch hours at the end of January. And that number is actually lower than it was at the end of December. But that's because I wasn't making any new videos. The 60 new subscribers brought my total up to 2,000.
Okay, he's going through a pretty detailed explanation here. I'm going to move us a little bit further now. You'll notice, let's look at his graph down here at the bottom. He's got a number of peaks here, and these peaks are replays. These show you when people have come back and replayed the video more than once. And it tells the content creator, it tells us what part of the video is popular and is sort of hitting the mark. And so you can see he's got a number of peaks across here. I'm going to go to the next peak right here. We're about 7 minutes in now. Let's see.
Brought my total up to 3,071 subscribers. Also in April, I earned $9.97. Now this was due to super thanks and super chats once again. My top performing videos, number 1 was that video I made in March on Camtasia Animations, 1,350 views. The number 2 video was the 5th video I ever made 3 years earlier. And then
that's nice that he's using a red box to highlight each of these things on the list here. That's a good editing trick. You want to keep the viewer engaged and help them along. You cannot go overboard in helping the viewer understand what you're talking about.
3 and 4 were videos that I made in April, and then number 5 was the video that I made the previous November with 399 views. In May, I uploaded 14 new videos and did 4 live streams. The total number of views continues to go up. I got 16,000.
Okay, he's still going month by month, and he's on May now. So, and I see a pattern here. He comes in with his setup outside, his external view here. And let's see.
at any time, but when they are updated is at 5 a.m. every morning, Eastern Standard Time in North America. That's when they update all of the views, watch time, and subscribers that you got the previous day. But for the revenue tab, that's not updated until later on in the day, around 12 hours later. The #1 video for the month was my video from March.
So he's given us some good information there.
Views. #2 was one from the previous month, and that was 1,473 views. 3 and 4 were both videos that I did in June, both with over 1,000 views. And then #5 was...
Okay. Well, it looks like he's going to go through every month about the same. Let's see. My Wi-Fi is dragging. Sorry about that. Come on.
All videos that I made after the viral video. The top 5 all had over 4,400 views. The second place video actually had 12,500 views, which I don't really call viral, but it did better than most. Having one of your videos go viral is an awesome feeling. You end up looking at the stats every day, all day long maybe, and just wondering when that virality is going to stop. But what's it mean to have a viral video? Viral is really a relative term. If you're used to getting, say, 100 views per video, and then all of a sudden you get 10,000 views, that's a viral video. On the other hand, if you're used to getting 10,000 views in a week, say, with any video you upload, then getting 10 or even 20,000 views would not constitute a viral video. But 100,000 or 1,000,000 views in a week would be. The added benefit of having a video go viral is that it tends to boost all of your other videos, because not only are you gaining all kinds of new views and all kinds of new subscribers, but a lot of those people are going to check out what other videos you have. So therefore, usually the entire base of your entire channel, all of your other videos, will tend to get a boost in their views as well.
Okay, looks like we're up to August. So it looks like I'm seeing a pattern here. Can you determine and see the pattern? He's got his external shot. Let's look at it by streaming across here. He's got his external shot, followed up by a shot of his spreadsheet where he explains what's going on in using his spreadsheet. Spreadsheet, back to an internal shot. Spreadsheet, external shot, spreadsheet, external shot. External shot, spreadsheet, 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 external shot, spreadsheet, external shot. You see the pattern. Is there anything he could do to break that pattern up? Because it will get a little boring. It's a little content heavy in terms of the details of his spreadsheet. And I appreciate him being transparent and showing us all the details of his spreadsheet. But from a viewer standpoint, I wonder if it's getting boring. If there is some way that he could break up this pattern, perhaps summarize a month or summarize each month, and instead of showing each individual piece of information that he's going through here. So I don't know what to think about it. I kind of think it's going to get kind of boring to go through all 12 months of watching each of these line items come across on his spreadsheet. And I'm wondering if maybe he could instead maybe offer a summary, a quick summary of each month, and reduce this 26 minute video down to about 13 minutes or so.
The second place was the viral video from July with 10,590. Third place was this new evergreen video that I made in September with 9,717. And then fourth and fifth place were 2 videos I also did in November, and their totals were 8,000 and 5,900 views. This is the month I reached out to fellow creators, people who are making YouTube videos much like I was, encouraging people over 40 to get into YouTube and help them grow their channels. I don't look at other creators who do the same thing as I do as as competition, but rather people in the same niche as I am. And I like the thought of helping one another grow as opposed to competing with one another. Not only that, but I feel like my audience can benefit from hearing from some of these other creators as well. So what I did was I reached out and started doing special guest live streams. Hosting these live streams and getting to know these other creators has been awesome. It's a great way to meet new friends and also grow the community around my channel.
Okay, we're finally at December. And you'll notice here at the end, the last 2 or 3 minutes here, see the peaks? Look at the peaks in the graph. Looks like the last 2 or 3 minutes have been the most popular, really getting some replays. So let's see how he ends this thing.
3,400 views. Since it's now February, I can also show you January's earnings. But before I get to those, I want to share with you the 5 lessons I learned in my first year of being monetized. Lesson number 1 is that a viral video can completely change the direction of your channel. You may not have a lot of...
Okay, remember way back at the first of the video, he said he was going to give us 5 lessons. That was his attempt to make us hang around for a while. And I tell you, I had totally forgotten about the 5 lessons until he got to them here. And he's got them right at the end. And in terms of retention, it's a way of trying to keep people around, keep people interested, keep people watching through the entire video. Of course, people can fast forward through the video and get to the 5 lessons if that's all they're interested in. And I have a feeling that's probably what happened. People probably sped up through the spreadsheet portions and got right to the end, and they liked these 5 lessons. So it's a good way to do it. You promise people some information and then you put off that information until the very end. It's a way of keeping them hooked.
Control over when that happens, but when it does, you want to be mindful because it might be signaling that you may want to change the type of videos that you're making. Lesson number 2 is don't be afraid to make some changes and try new things. It can be the way you edit your videos, the way you film your videos, or even what you're talking about in your videos. Don't be afraid to pivot to a new topic. Your existing audience might love it if you do. Lesson number 3 is that posting consistently will grow your channel, and quite often it'll grow it exponentially, even if you don't get a viral video. Lesson number 4, try to mix in some evergreen content along with videos that you make that might be trendy. Having a good mix of evergreen content that'll do better over the long term and trendy topics that'll do better immediately but then tail off is a great strategy. And lesson number 5, hosting live streams is a great way to boost your watch hours and also build a connection with your audience. So now let's take a look at how I did in January, just last month. I posted 8 new videos and I did 6 live streams. I got 2.
Okay, so he's going to wrap things up here with his last month. His highest peak comes right here, right at the end. Let's see.
That I released in September with 46,000. In third was a video I did in January as well with 6,961 views. Fourth place was a YouTube short that I did that continues to do well that I made the previous March. And then in 5th place was that video that I made on October 9th, continues to do well with 6,125 views. The total earnings for the month went up to $1,597.56. The best day I had for the month was $120.57. And the worst day of the month was before that semi-viral video, January 18th, $24.03 made in that day. Remember that the stats and earnings I presented in this video are my own experience. They may be similar to what you can expect, but you may also not do as well or do far better. If you have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can ask them in the comments below. Don't forget, you can also download the YouTube stats tracker, the spreadsheet that I showed in this video, also linked in the description below. And maybe check out a couple of the courses that I also have on offer down there. The courses I make are designed to help you get started with your own YouTube journey. So with that said, my name is Rob. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? What do you think of his overall screen presence? It's not bad. He's good on camera. He's got a nice voice. And he looks comfortable. He's knowledgeable. He's organized. He certainly knows what he's talking about. He's done enough YouTubing to have a handle on how things are going. He's got 87,000 subscribers. And I believe he's been going at it about 4 years. So it's taking him time to get to this point. It's a rather long journey, not a sprint. So if you're starting a YouTube channel, think in terms of years and not months. So you really have to have a passion for it so that you'll stay with it over the long haul. Well, what can we learn from Bob here? I mean Rob. I keep wanting to call him Bob. It's Rob the Maritimer. Well, let's see. He's got a good he's got a really good screen presence. So, thumbnail and title and intro were good. Excellent. Screen presence was good. The content, that's the only place I might have some reservations, just in terms of overall content. And it's not the content itself. I appreciate him with his transparency and his willingness to show us the numbers. But just in terms of editing and viewership and just putting together a video, I wonder if the month-by-month synopsis gets a little old and gets a little boring. And I wonder if there's a better way that you could be doing this type of video where you're wanting to help viewers understand how much money you made and learn some tips on getting monetized and give people an honest, some honest information about what it's like to get monetized. But I'm wondering if the way he put this together is kind of boring. I mean, we're talking about 12 months of looking through spreadsheets and looking through the numbers. And I'm just wondering if maybe he could have summarized these months in a more interesting way. That's my only question. Have to give it some thought. What do you think? Let me know in comments. Jump into chat. Let me know what you think. I'm not too sure. Overall, if I were to give him a grade, I gave him a B, as in very good, Rob. Excellent. I think he's a good YouTuber. I think he's a good content creator. And he's a very nice man. He's willing to help his viewers out, willing to provide information. And if you want to join him, his live stream is Tuesdays at noon, I believe. So check him out. Well, let's see. How we doing on time? I've been at this about an hour now, so maybe time to start looking about closing this thing up. I don't know. What do you think? Do we have time for some questions? Let's see. Why don't we take up a couple of questions just for the heck of it. Here's a question. Do titles with questions perform better than statements? Well, I don't know the exact stats, but the word we're looking for here is curiosity. We want to create curiosity. We want to create curiosity with our thumbnail and titles. We want to give people a reason to stop and click, and one of the biggest reasons they're going to stop and click is because they have a question that they want answered. They're curious about something. You've said something that's made them curious, and I want to check it out. That's what they're thinking. So it makes me think that questions are going to perform better than statements. But that may or may not be the case. And I know what I'm tempted to do. I'm tempted to run down to ChatGPT and just ask and see what Chat says. Well, let's see what Mr. GPT says. I'm going to ask him. Does asking a question on my title and thumbnail perform better than just making a statement? Let's see. That's a great question. Questions trigger curiosity. Questions trigger curiosity. When you ask something like, why are trolls so afraid of creators, instead of trolls and creators, what's going on? You're inviting the viewer to mentally answer the question, which can increase the click-through rate. For thumbnails, titles, prompts that spark curiosity tend to outperform bland statements. So we want to spark curiosity. Questions can feel more engaging and conversational, which aligns nicely with your voice. For episode 2, that must be referring to something Chat's talking to me personally there. A question title might feel more like you're inviting them into a conversation. According to the YouTube help page, whether you go for a searchable or intriguing title depends on your audience. Questions are often in the intriguing category. In other words, if you're making a title to be searchable, you're wanting to put in keywords in the title that people will be searching for, as opposed to an intriguing title, which is going to make people curious. When people search on Google or search on YouTube or search on Chat, GPT even, or Perplexity, they're not going to be asking questions about curiosity. They're going to be asking specific questions and using specific words, keywords. And so a searchable title will have keywords in it that will show up in search terms as people are searching for something, searching for information. On the other hand, an intriguing title is one that people will read when they're just sort of streaming through and looking through and strolling through YouTube channels. They're going to look at your thumbnail, look at your title, and if it's intriguing enough, if it's going to spark some curiosity, then they'll click. But he's got a warning here. Why a statement might still be better. A strong statement can be bold, surprising, contrarian, and that can prompt interest just as well, if not better. For example, the same article as above notes the statement style thumbnail text works well if it's surprising, contrarian, or prompts people to wonder about the reason behind the statement. If your audience is coming through search, and how do I know if my audience is coming through search? Well, you can look in your analytics. It'll tell you how people found your video, whether it came through search or whether it was pushed to them through the side panel feed. A clear statement could be better because it tells exactly what they'll get. So it's good for intent. It shows them exactly what they're going to get. The YouTube help page emphasizes titles should be accurate and help users know what to expect. Help users know what to expect. Overusing questions can reduce impact. If every title is a question, they might become predictable. So, If we go back to our question, do titles with questions perform better than statements? Maybe or maybe not. And I think the point here is we need to use both. We want to use both questions and statements. And it would be interesting now that we can do some A/B testing of titles. Maybe write one title that's a question and the other one as a bold statement and test it and see which one gets the most clicks. That might be a good way of doing an A/B test on titles. Because when you do an A/B test, what you want the two titles that you submit for the test to be as different as possible. So one being a question and one being a statement would be a good way to do it. Well, what about another question? How much does the thumbnail really affect click-through rate? Well, it's all about the thumbnail. I mean, think about it. You're going to YouTube and you're running through a bunch of thumbnails. What's going to make you click? Now, I guess if you're searching for a particular topic, let's say I'm fixing my toilet and I'm going to look on YouTube for a plumber that's going to give me a video showing me how to fix my toilet. Maybe the thumbnail is not as important as maybe the title, but still I think the thumbnail is important, and the title is too. If I'm doing a searchable topic, some specific information I'm looking for, I still think the thumbnail and title are going to be important. So I think the thumbnail is probably the most important thing that we have. Because if people don't click on the thumbnail, then what's the use of having any content? We're just wasting our time. That's why so many YouTubers recommend that, especially the ones that are really successful on YouTube, recommend that you start with the thumbnail and the title before you make the content. That means I have to sit down and if I'm thinking about the next 5 videos that I'm going to make, in terms of my ideas, I need to think about the thumbnail. I need to create that thumbnail and title first, because that will tell me whether the idea is a good one or not. If I can't come up with an intriguing or catchy or clickable thumbnail and title to get people interested in my topic, then maybe the topic's not all that great. So what I want to do is spend some time with the title and thumbnail before I think about the content. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers do it backwards. They make the content because that's where the fun is. They enjoy going out and making the content, and then they come back and they spend, 5-10 minutes on the thumbnail and title. They just throw something together. Well, they've kind of got it backwards. There are YouTubers in the top 1% who have millions and millions of views who will spend hours, if not days, designing and testing their thumbnail and their title before they even worry about the content. So it's more of an important thing than most people give it credit for. It's the most important thing. And that's where we need to spend more of our time on the thumbnail and the title. And if you can come up with 5 or 6 great thumbnails and titles, then the content will come. The content will be easy to make because you have direction. You can look at that thumbnail and you can look at that title and you know the content that you need to make in order to fit that content. I mean, that thumbnail and title will give direction for the content that you make. How do I pick a channel name that people will remember? Well, I've heard some people say that it doesn't matter, that the channel name is not that important. It's whatever it is. It's got to be descriptive of what your channel is about, for sure. It's got to be, I would think, rather short. You don't want something long and drawn out. When I was thinking of a channel name, I've got 4 channels. I've got 4 YouTube channels, and for each of those YouTube channel names, I was thinking, number 1, about the content. What's the channel about? What niche is the channel in? And I was thinking also about what would be easy to find in terms of a domain name. Is a domain name available for my channel that I can use later on for marketing? Because you would think at some point you would want a web page to go with your YouTube channel, and so you'll want to pick a channel name where the domain name is available. So that's something to think about as well. And you want something that's easy to remember. So channel name, how do you pick it? Well, there are name generators online that you can go to, where you can go and it will automatically generate a list of 10 possible names. You can go to ChatGPT and do the same thing. You can go into ChatGPT and give it a full description of what your channel is about, and then ask it to give you 25 channel names, and then go through each of those 25 channel names and check it against the domain names and see if they're domain names that you can tie into it. And then if those check out and you find a channel name you like, then you need to do a search online. Check out Facebook, check out YouTube, check out Google, do a Google search. Go all over social media and search that channel name and see if anyone else is using it. See if it's unique. And it's not easy to come up with something that someone else is not using. So it'll take some work. So that's kind of the process I've been using since ChatGPT has become so helpful. I'll go into chat and I'll ask it to give me a list of 25 or 30 possible names if I'm trying to name something, come up with some sort of unique name, and then I will take the names that I like and I'll check it against the domain name list and see if the domains are available. And if the domain's available and I like the name, then I'll do a search online. I'll do a Google search, I'll look on Facebook, I'll look on YouTube, and I'll do some looking around to see if that name has been used. Because I'm looking for something that is unique. And it's becoming increasingly hard to find something unique. Why did I come up with even rabbits? Well, because hopefully it's unique, or unique enough. All right, let's see. We got one more question we can look at. Should I worry about copyright when using background music? Yes, because you will get a copyright notice on your channel if you use background music that has a copyright issue. I can show you, because I have gotten some copyright notices on my channel. I'll show you how they come up. Let me go up. This is my channel at Even Rabbits. Let me turn this thing off. This is my Even Rabbits YouTube and social media talk channel, where all my live streams and information and videos will be popping up. And if I go into studio, and pull up my content, the list of videos, you see over here over here in this column right here, where it talks about copyright. Let me go into the live streams. See the copyrights? There's one there. Can you see my mouse? See there, I got a copyright. I got a copyright there. I got a copyright there, and I got a copyright there. Copyright there, off of these live streams. Now, what was the copyright referring to? Well, what I was doing was using music in the background that I was getting off of YouTube. I was going to a YouTube music channel, and I was even looking under the copyright-free music channels and was bringing in and recording music from those channels and was using that in the background of my live streams. And I was starting to get these copyright notices. Now, I didn't get in any strikes. I didn't get any copyright strikes. These are more like warnings. And I don't want to see any copyright at all. I like these nones that come up. None, 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 copyright, copyright, none, copyright, none. I want to get rid of all these copyrights. So, I have stopped using the music off of YouTube. I now use music that I create on Suno, because I know the music I create on Suno is for my use. It's commercial free, and I should not receive any sort of copyright notices for music I create on Suno. I can also go into the YouTube Studio under the audio section of the YouTube Studio and pull up audio that's copyright free under the YouTube, but some of that music is not very good. In fact, most of it's not very good. So I'm always looking for copyright free music, and I've started using Suno, and I like Suno because I can create my own kind of music using Suno. So that's what I do, and it has helped greatly. Well, let's see. I guess we're about done for the day, huh? Gone through some questions. Is there anything else we can talk about? Anybody jump into chat, let me know what's going on. I had to cut off Facebook because it was affecting my YouTube stream. I'm surprised we went as long as we did, but that's the name of the game. Looks like we've been at it about an hour and 10 minutes or so, so I guess I'm done for today. I will be back tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock. We've moved up our live stream up an hour to 10 a.m., so we'll be going all this week, weekdays, starting at 10 a.m., and we'll go for an hour or so, and I hope you'll join us then. If you've been with us, thanks for dropping in. And until tomorrow, I am over. Did I say over? I am over and out.
I thank you for watching today. I'll see you again soon. And when you ba-da-ba-da-ba